Deconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the Hard Deconstruction. You can find us at harddeconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/harddeconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehorrordeconstruction, with your host, Comp.
Important stuff.
And?
Yeah.
Today's film is...
VHS Viral.
VHS...
Viral.
It's usually Thea that says it on her guest, but I guess Danny wants to be a prick.
Thea. Go.
VHS Viral.
VHS Viral 2014 follows fame-obsessed teens who unwittingly become stars of the next internet sensation. Really? Does that happen? Because I don't remember that.
I guess technically at the end.
Yeah, it sort of happens at the end.
Alright, it's directed by Justin Benson, Greg Bishop, and a couple of other people that you'll never hear of again. Just kidding. Aaron Moorhead, Marcel Sarmiento, and... Oh, Nacho Vigalondo. Let me guess which one he did. So, VHS Viral has... It's a different version than the latest, I guess VHS 2, which had 4 segments and a wraparound.
His name is really Nacho?
Yes, he's
It is.
That's all. That'd be like me being named, like, Scrambled Eggs or something.
That would be a great name.
Can you guess all his friends get upset when they go to his party? And they're like, hey, Nacho's going to be like, oh yeah, and then they don't get nachos. Anyway,
Disappointment.
terrible joke that was. So anyway, let's get into VHS Viral. VHS Viral, let us. What is this wraparound that begins it, Thea?
It's called Vicious Circles, and it's directed by Marcel Sarmiento, who also directed Dead Girl. It's in, I think, 4 or 5 parts? 4. 5, I guess.
Okay,
It
yeah.
comes and goes a lot.
Yes, it does.
Basically,
the gist of it is there's this couple that's watching a high-speed chase on television. The boyfriend goes out to tape it, and his girlfriend disappears.
It's
What was the deal when he said, fuck you, grandma, and then, like, got all angry? Like, that didn't lead anywhere.
You knew he was done right then.
It seems like a
Ran on Naked Grandma.
It seems like a quasi adaptation of Stephen King's Cell for some strange reason. Basically,
or like the movie The Signal, that kind of thing, where they all go crazy.
Everybody goes crazy after some signal, although it happens randomly to random people, I guess. But anyway,
Where is their smartphone out?
I gotta say, I didn't quite understand it, but it was fun.
Yes, I thought it was okay for what it is. I like the concept of it a bit.
I like it a hell of a lot better than the other wraparound stories.
Yeah. I think it's
probably the best of the wraparounds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even though it doesn't necessarily make sense, at least it's like not some stupid asshole kid bros like going into a house or something.
Oh, we do get that later on in this film, but at least the wraparound doesn't have that.
They are real bros. Those guys aren't bros. They're skater bros. There's a difference.
I will say something about this film, about this installment of VHS. It is... The horror almost has disappeared completely from this franchise in this third version. It seems more...
sci-fi,
science
fantasy.
fiction,
Supernatural
sort of.
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
right, like that. Because the first one was more, they dealt with succubuses and fake predators and monsters and stuff like that straight up. The second one had the whole cult angle, which does appear in here, but very poorly. And this one there's a heavy slant on science fiction and magic and mysticism and stuff like that. Well, I don't know why, if they, decided to do that on purpose. But it seems that
they chose the film, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, I guess they didn't really...
Possible.
They didn't want to deal with more bump in the night. They wanted to kind of elevate it to some other... I don't know, some other version of what it is.
I kind of liked it, though. I mean, yeah, it's not straight up horror, but there's
I
plenty
didn't mind
horror.
that it was horror, or it wasn't like straight up horror, I guess, because I like the supernatural stuff. I like
too.
those kinds of horror movies almost the best.
I just think if a lot of
like
these...
The Fly or something.
I almost felt like these films, like the wraparound film would have been fine by itself as something else. I think all the movies in this film would have been good if they were their own films. But if they were done in different ways, and we'll get into it. But the wraparound film has this first... What's the first guy's name? Kevin, with his girlfriend, I guess? Is it
I
Kevin
don't even remember his girlfriend's name.
They're pretty... It
was a weird name.
It feels a little bit like... what's that movie that I always forget that J.J. Abrams produced with Matt...
The Village?
No, yeah, he produce that one. No, he didn't. No, the one with
Wait, no, I'm thinking of...
Jesus Christ.
I'm thinking of the guy that made The Sixth Sense.
We're talking about Cloverfield. Yeah,
Shamanel and Llama or whatever.
Any film that's made recently that's POV is gonna feel like Cloverfield just because I'm trying to talk normally here. So this guy's dealing with his girlfriend. He's videotaping her. She's a fetching young
Anytime
lass.
she's in her underwear, he's taping her.
She has the
I was happy for that.
She has the buttocks of a young 12-year-old Asian boy, which is fine, I guess, if you're into that. What about you? You into big butts, Danny? Danny, I know you're into
I
big butts.
do like my big butts, yeah.
Wait, we gotta watch out because like Thea has a girlfriend, so she doesn't want to like offend. So she's
Who
like, yeah,
doesn't like big butts?
yeah, fair enough. So
I'm sure
anyway,
your girlfriend has a big butt. It's probably
My
great.
girlfriend has a great butt.
so this girl in this
Jealous.
film, all of a sudden they're watching television and an ice cream truck is on TV. What did you think about the relationship in the film? Did it feel realistic? Because it felt kind of like they were looking at scripts off camera, reading their lines.
Yeah, I feel like they were in their relationship for a month, maybe.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they're not the best actors. put
we
it that way.
see some big jugs, but it's not the ones that I was expecting. And
Oh,
it's,
I love those.
I guess his-
geriatric porn fix.
I guess his grandma must beat the shit out of him because he got slapped and his lip is all split open. But anyway, they see a television report with I guess an ice cream van truck or something like that driving
in
on the
hot
street.
pursuit. I don't think those things can drive that fast.
It's a of course it's horse shit.
I'm sure they could go like 50.
It's such a crazy cop chase. It's only one cop car chasing it. I guess that's the budget of the Los Angeles criminal system over there.
Well, they're too busy beating black people for no reason.
That's true, but you know, Danny, you advocate for that. So,
political, Danny.
Kevin comes out onto the streets like, don't you want to see some? Don't you want to be some part of something bigger? Which I guess haunts the ending of the film. I think this is a step back for. I don't think it's a bad wraparound. I just don't think. I think it's kind of a step back for the director who did Dead Girl and D is for Dog.
Right.
Because I mean he did a lot of good shit.
Oh, he did D is for Dog.
Yeah, right. So I mean,
Oh, okay.
you should have put a dog in here. He's really good with dogs for some reason. Like the dog in Dead Girl is fucking
You should have
awesome.
a dog driving the ice cream truck. It's like wearing a outfit and everything.
And it hands him a
Oh, great.
popsicle, but it's like one of those really bad 1920s movies where you can see it's a fake paw raising the popsicle from under the screen.
And then there's like, like that painting of dogs playing
Poker.
or whatever. Yeah, it's like got dogs like in the back like sorting ice cream by flavor.
Thea, you don't have anything to add to this hilarious joke that me and Danny are just telling right now? Because it would
To dogs
be a bombshell. Yeah.
driving.
You don't want to talk about dogs driving cars?
It's amazing.
Like humans?
I think they should have served dogsicles at the back of the ice cream truck.
I think so too.
Yeah. So anyway, the boyfriend decides to take footage of it. Promptly, he sees three bicyclists chasing the one cop car chasing the ice cream truck. We see a girl jump into a taxi cab, which later figures on into the short. And we see a cop who has Google glasses on. I think they're going to implement that in New York City soon enough, just so they can
Just
take
to make
sides.
New York that much more unpleasant.
Yes, and so anyway, crashes. His girlfriend walks into the street, and then she vanishes. And then we're given leeway to our first short. What is our first short about, Thea?
Our first short is called Dante the Great. It's done predominantly in the style of a documentary about a famous magician named Dante. And
Like the guy that went to hell.
he seems to be able to do real magic thanks to his magical fancy cape.
Ooh, who does
He was
he?
Houdini's.
What? Yes.
That's what it said at some point.
Okay, good.
But
So
his cape also eats people. So
yes,
there's that.
Dante seems to
It's,
be
there's pros and cons.
Dante seems to be a backwoods trailer type of gentleman who has aspirations of becoming an amazing magician. And they don't explain how he gets it, but he ends up getting a cape, and he's documenting everything he's done. We're led to the storyline.
If they had given that cape to Joe Bluth, I think it would have been a funnier movie.
He would have actually made stuff disappear, and then
He
his
would
little
have,
puppet would
made,
walk around.
The president of a prestigious college disappear and then reappear. He would have
He would have made all of his illegitimate children disappear.
Yeah, he would have
permanently.
had.
I wish you
What
would
the
have
hell
made.
is his name?
This is your Arrested Development reference that we're going on for 5 minutes now. I wish you would have made season 4 disappear. Now that would have been great. So
You know what? You watch it again. It's
the
not
magician.
As bad.
I'll
It's
tell you
not
how.
as bad if you lower your
I'll tell you how bad it
expectations.
is. Okay, if there'd be any lower, they'd be in fucking China right now.
The problem is that they couldn't film it together because they're all fucking like.
Hey, good for them. Hey,
divas or
how about
something.
not filming it? He's re-editing it now, so it's in regular timeline. So that's
Which
how
I
bad
think
it
is
is.
stupid.
Well, we'll see how good it is.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Now you guys know what we think about Arrested Development season 4. So this guy Dante is a kind of a trailer trash guy who has aspirations for being a great magician. He finds this cape where they show footage of a fake Harry Houdini who looks nothing like Harry Houdini, making women coming out of his cape. So then we see
I thought that was real footage.
But how
was
many
it?
people know what Harry Houdini looks like other than Alex?
That's true.
Obviously.
Probably not many.
I study
Who is a
magicians.
purist.
I study magicians by candlelight with a giant top hat on. I'm very, fastidious with that. So
I'd like to see much of this.
he's got this cape on, and we're led to know what's going on by this redhead named Scarlet. Oh
She is
boy,
hot.
it's real. Yeah, she is very pretty. But it's very obvious acting. It's kind of bad acting for the hardest acting. I think would have to be for phony documentaries. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, when they're trying to make something realistic and people stutter and stammer, and it's
The
really
theater
like
critic they had in the documentary segment was very good.
the who?
He was very believable. The theater critic guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
the
guy
LA
was good.
The guy that ended up in LA.
That guy probably thought he was really talking about something realistic. That's why. Then
probably
he found
did.
out. He was like, "Oh, what the?" But Dante, he cuts a very menacing character. He looks like an actor that I've seen before, but I can't remember from what. And
He looks familiar.
we see
Yeah,
his.
he reminded me a little bit of the bad guy from like Koopa's son in the Mario Brothers
It probably was him.
movie.
I think maybe that whole
Classic movie.
the whole cast and crew is probably working.
Don't
the,
ever make fun of the Mario Brothers. Everyone
food
hates
cart.
it. It's
I didn't-
good. Trust
I
the
didn't say it
focus.
was bad.
It also predicted the Twin Towers exploding. So if you watch the very end of that film,
Oh,
when
no.
it's very disturbing. It was very bad. Anyway, so with this film, we end up seeing Scarlett's relationship with Dante, where he teaches her magic tricks. He also teaches her how to make fucking rope appear out of nowhere onto his arms, onto her. I mean, like, how's that happen?
I don't know.
I would think he was just.
I think it's with the cape, and he does it.
Yeah,
I-
but then she does it to him at the end.
Because then she had the cape.
Did
for
she
a
have the
minute or
cape in her hands when she did that? Okay, because I was trying
probably
to.
not.
Oh my god, it didn't seem like it, but yeah. So anyway, it all leads to a giant magician battle between Dante and this phony, super feminine. Oh, let's have a female superhero kind of thing at the end. I don't know. That's what I felt about it. I was like, this
My
girl.
favorite part is when he kills the bunny.
This girl reminds me a little bit too much about like Megan Fox or something. You know, that kind of stilted acting. Which
She's
I don't.
hotter.
I don't think Megan Fox is a bad actor, but I think like they try to put like a hot chick and then they try to make her into an action hero. I think what really fucked this up. I mean, it wasn't bad. This would be awesome if it was like a thriller kind of film, not
Right.
shot in first person. Like if it was actually shot like a cool like adventure sort of movie. But that final, what was that final line that they have between each other where he's like, it's one of those kind of stamps where a bad guy will say something and then she says something to him back and then kills him, that kind of shit. I can't remember what she says.
I can't
but
even remember what it was.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so
it was kinda
bad.
shitty. I just can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's the type of line delivery that only Arnold Schwarzenegger can do and nobody else can do. You know, that kind of thing where a bad guy will say and you're like, oh yes, I throw it back onto you, and that's how it goes. But I do like the magician fight at the end where he's kind of taking everybody else at the end. What do you guys think about that?
It was fun. It reminded me of like a really high budget episode of like a TV show that
Tales from the
is kinda
Crypt or
like
something?
popcorn TV.
Like Tales from the Crypt or something like that?
Yeah, like that you'd watch and you're like, oh cool, like, and then not think about it again, kind of thing.
Because there is a horror aspect. I'm looking at it now. She's not touching the cape when she ties his leg, so I guess it's horse shit.
She just learned it.
Maybe the cape is giving her power though because it wants to eat him and have a new master.
Could be. I guess. I think if you wanted to keep this more horror, they would have probably explored the more, what's inside the cape and when it's eating all the people, instead of them having a giant magician fight, like as an excuse to show special effects. What did you think about the whole thing, Thea?
I enjoyed it actually. Like her acting obviously is not great, but she's in it
How
for
dare you.
such short spurts that I just kind of didn't care.
They should have had a boob scene. He should have magically made her clothes come off.
Abracaboo!
That's how you would have directed it. Then he would have had two penises come out of his ears. That would have been great.
Because there weren't enough boobs in this movie.
I thought it was
Well,
good.
we saw grandma boobs. I would want to see her boobs.
I think
true.
the thing about this film is that I think this, like, part of it was horror, with him sacrificing all his stage hands or whoever the fuck he was trying to kill, his assistants. That seemed like horror. But then when it got into the magical cape fight at the end, it seemed like a little bit too high concept for this kind of film.
It was more like action-y, I guess.
Right, and it was like, well, where the hell is this coming from? And this film has been getting some pretty shit reviews from a lot of people. That's what
This particular one, or as a whole, VHS?
This whole film, yeah, this whole VHS 3. And
not just this segment.
I think I lowered my expectations because of all those reviews, so the movie is kind of okay. It's not as awful.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Like, I went into this expecting it to be horrible. Like, I even told I watched it with my friend. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a really bad movie from what I hear. And, like, no, we both enjoyed it.
So we want to thank everybody
I was afraid to watch it, but it was actually okay.
We want to thank everybody that shat on this film. I mean, it's not the greatest film, but it's not as bad as everybody says it is, so I'm okay.
It's not any worse than the first two.
Yeah, that's true. It's the same deal with ABCs of Death, because I'm
trying to think, like, maybe it doesn't have, like, an amazing standout one, like the way that cult one was.
Right.
Sure, but that was like the best one in a field of not greats.
Yeah, like,
but this doesn't have like any that are terrible.
And the weird thing about the cult one and the second one is it wasn't because it was a modicum of better, not like a little bit better than the other ones. It was actually like generally a really good short film compared to the other ones. That's why. And this one doesn't really have that. They're kind of all sort of okay comparatively.
I did like.
Oh, the second one I did like. I did like Nacho Vigalando's one. That one I'll say I liked a lot because at the beginning of it I was like, uh-oh. But then again, it's always like the foreign film I tend to like a little bit more because they kind of take a little bit more risks and try to do something weirder. That's true. You know, I did eat a giant can of beans after I watched it, and then I let I let all the roosters out of my house. It was pretty fun. So it goes back to the first wraparound, and what occurs there? It's more bicycle riding and a guy getting, I guess, grabbed by the head and led down the street behind a driving ice cream truck.
I didn't really understand how he got dragged from the ice cream truck. Is that the part?
Yeah, I guess
somebody grabbed him, but I don't know exactly how it happened.
I guess
in any case, I was happy to watch his feet get dragged
off.
Yeah,
that was pretty. That was actually pretty cool, but it was very grotesque. Anyway, so. The gist of that scene is the guy's feet turns into hamburger meat and then he falls apart on the street. It's pretty amazing. Leads to the second short, and which one is this about, Thea?
This one is called Parallel Monsters, and it is by Monsieur Nacho Vigalondo.
Nacho Vigalondo directed what?
He directed Time Crimes.
Yes, ma'am. And Time Crimes, I think all three of us enjoyed it.
Now, this was reminding me of a movie we reviewed, not Triangle. There was another one that was like about this guy
who went...
Crime Times. That's not that one, right?
It's the same director.
Oh, it is? Okay, because I was going to say it has a similar vibe.
Get yourself together.
You know the one I'm talking about, where he goes inside the time machine and he's trying to get the doctor.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about. That one's called Time Crimes. All right, so Danny, explain this one. What happens in this?
Wait, no, you guys are confusing me. Like, you know the movie I'm talking about, right?
He's fucking with us. Very funny, Danny. Go ahead, explain this one. Parallel Monsters. What's it about?
I'm confused. Whatever.
Wow, he really is.
No, I'm saying a completely separate movie from this movie we reviewed a while back, a year ago.
Are you high? What are you talking about? Okay, hold on. Let's stop this for a second. What are you talking about? What happened in the movie? The guy goes into the thing of water and he comes out, right?
Exactly
and he has a mask on his face. You're doing this to fuck with me, right?
Four versions of them, and
it's called Time Crimes.
Go eat balls. Go talk about this movie.
So it's the same movie as this?
Oh man,
no, it's the same director.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay,
yeah. I said Nacho is also the director of Time Crimes.
I'm gonna choke you through Skype.
Oh, I thought you said this one is called Time Crimes.
No, this one's called Parallel Monsters.
Okay, and then when I asked what's the other one called, you said Time Crimes. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like the same movie? Like, what? I'm so confused.
You know, it's funny. It feels like I stepped into a parallel dimension of assholes. Okay, Danny, go ahead. Are we
still recording right now?
Yes, we are. Go ahead. Talk about Parallel Monsters, please, Danny, before I go nuts here.
You want me to talk about it?
So anyway, Parallel Monsters has this scientist who builds a sort of fly-like device that's on his wall that opens up parallel dimensions. Continue, please, Thea.
It opens a parallel dimension that at first looks the exact same as his. Mm-hmm. He opens it and the man on the other side is him with the identical but backwards laboratory. And they agree to swap timelines or swap dimensions and just walk across into each other's home
for about 15 minutes.
And stay there for 15 minutes.
Right.
And come back.
What did you think about it initially?
At first, I was a little bit worried it was going to be a little bit too Time Crimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I I think he created a different enough concept that it was fun.
Yes.
And that guy knows how to like capture like cute feelings, you know.
I think it was. I think
it was really weird though.
At the very opening, I was like, oh, is this like a science fiction short? Like, you know, when you watch. Let me say, there's episodes of the Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone's all good. But then there'll be like the science fiction episode. You're like, I don't want to really watch this. I want to see a guy's glasses break when he's trying to read a book at the end, and he gets pissed off. This one is like, you know, at the very beginning, you're like, okay, so you kind of get it. There always has to be like plot drizzled about at the very beginning, just so you know the characters a bit and what we're getting into. So this main scientist character, he switches with his doppelganger from another dimension. And
doppelganger.
The is that the right term? Doppelganger? But I guess doppelganger is in the same dimension, I guess. But
it usually implies like an evil twin.
A double, something
like that. That is correct.
So he goes into the other dimension, and I think what the cool part of this is the revelation of how strange the other world is that he jumps in. I was a bit confused at times at who's holding the camera at what time. I mean, that's the only part. But I mean, you do figure out what's going on once you see the world,
for sure,
right?
It's confusing, yeah.
You know, because you're thinking they're watching some kind of pornography or somebody's having sex, but then you find out what it is, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. What did you think about this, Danny?
Well, I was a little jealous. I wish I was born in the other dimension. I would love a penis like that.
Very good.
I would love a howling wolf penis.
That bites people.
I mean, it had really...
I wouldn't be too into the vaginas that bite people.
That was pretty intense.
There was something really... I mean, well, thinking about that now, because one guy has a monster penis, and I guess she has a monster vagina. I guess that's how they have sex, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
But then...
So basically they have, like, Satan genitals.
I guess so.
Maybe their genitals just, like, have a little conversation down there.
So
That's true.
Chat.
They speak in tongues.
Yeah, okay, very good. It's mostly seen through the good guys... I'll call him the good guy version because that's closest to our, version of Earth, as opposed to what this guy is.
Where your wife goes to sleep rather than having satanic genital rituals and orgies.
What were they going to do? I still want to know exactly what the hell was going to happen.
I think they were going to have their genitals mingle or something.
Yeah, I think there was going to be some sacrifice.
Blimp floating up there, like...
It was an upside-down cross blimp. That's the crazy part about it. Yeah, there's something about, I think, what makes this short work the most for me is that the revelations that keep happening are way creepier, and they're not so blatant. Although it is kind of blatant at the end what's going on, it's not very precise in what it's telling us. It's just more like this is a world that you have no idea what's going on. Like there's floating blimps with upside down crosses. At the beginning, I thought the gist was going to be that this guy. They were going to have threesomes on each side of their... they were going to just sleep with each other's wives and then come back.
Yeah, I thought it was an orgy.
Like, I was laughing.
Cool, guys. It's cool.
There were, two guys that have...
I thought he was going to stay there so he could, have fun sex, and they would swap, where one could be in a boring world and one could have fun sex. But then it turned into something more fun.
What was weird, I did like when good guys saw... photographs of weird shit on the wall, like that. It seemed like some kind of altar or something, and then he saw a photo.
I think if I saw that picture instead of my wedding photo, I'd instantly turn around.
Yeah, but there was also
I'm good.
There was a wedding photo of two other people, wasn't there? Or was it him and his wife? Because they didn't look anything like them.
No, it was him and his wife.
Was it? Because maybe.
What was her name? Marta.
Marta, yeah.
Yeah.
Marta's very pretty.
She is very pretty. Alfonso, he's just a pretty strapping young guy himself.
Those Spaniards? They're very sexy-looking people. So he goes up to crazy version of the world, nice version of the guy, and there's a bag suspended full of meat or something in a noose, and the sounds of pornography is actually a person burning on a stake, and so the wife is like, oh, why don't you start it off? And the two guys that they think that I would assume were supposed to be for a threesome are kind of just having an awkward silence. And what do you guys think about that whole, sequence?
It was, I wanted to see what the hell was going to happen.
I know, me too, badly. I wish the rest of the film was actually this movie because it was so, there was an undercurrent of creepiness to it that was so cool that the other films didn't really have.
It would be interesting to see what more of that world was like.
Yeah, because... I wish Nacho just does another movie like this, because Time Crimes flirted with horror just with the masks and all that violent stuff. But this actually was unsettling to me, because It's almost like there was just a callback to what was that the what the fuck show did I just mention?
Are we supposed to be rating the individual? Oh, we'll rate them at the end.
Yeah, we'll rate them at the end. But anyway, I'll forget what the fuck I was just talking about. But I like the current the feeling of this movie much more so than any other short in this movie. What did you guys think about this one?
I think we could all agree on that, right, Thea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it had good effects, it had good gore. It's kind of like the worlds were parallel enough that the same thing happens on both sides at the end. And, okay, so that knocks us to the next part of the wraparound, which I thought was actually pretty funny, with the whole Mexican gangbangers hanging out with each other.
Yeah, right.
Which leads to
It was a weird transition.
It was very strange, because this is why I think that first film, the wraparound of this film worked, because there were vignettes within the wraparound itself. I almost felt like this wasn't a wraparound. I felt like it was a short, and then they just decided to make it a wraparound or something. Because usually,
well, they tie it all in at the very end.
Yeah,
when they show on the TV screen.
Well, I guess you're right, because I think somebody was saying, like, when I was reading stuff online, they were like, "Oh, why'd they only make it 3 shorts, including the wraparound?" Which is
well, they were supposed to have another one. I read, but they deleted it like last second.
I mean, they'll probably put that on the Blu-ray or something, or maybe it was like fucking awful or something like that. But this, the wraparound, this one gave you enough different stuff in the middle of it. Like, when I saw the gangbangers, it was basically fake Mexicans hanging out with each other at a barbecue, and they're, like, all recording, and there's people, like, arguing and stuff. And I was, like, at the beginning, I was like, uh-oh. But then somebody put a barbecue fork in the dog's head, which was the fucking funny. It's like one of the funniest. It was the funniest. Oh, I guess he did put a dog in it. There you go. That guy knows how to direct dogs, man. He's really good at that shit.
He knows his dogs.
If you look at the dog in D is for Dog and the dog in Dead Girl,
the dogs are always getting hurt. Do you think that
that's true.
He hates dogs.
That's why he's not a commercially successful director.
That's
right,
true.
He's hurting dogs.
PETA has it out for him. But seriously, that shot of that dog because the dog is looking normally, but it has a fork hanging out of its head. It's like the funniest thing I saw. That's why this is probably my second for everyone out of all these things in this movie. But that homeboy decides to kill the shit out of everybody. He basically beats everybody to death at the Mexican hangout, and that's pretty funny. And that leads us to
he's gonna go to jail. Well, maybe not though.
Maybe not. The world's going crazy. Yeah. So this leads us to the fourth storyline, which is basically if Larry Clark directed Attack the Block. But Thea, get into what this one's about.
This would be Bone Storm,
Oy.
Which is directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who also directed Resolution and Spring, which I haven't seen.
Oh, I liked Resolution. What did they do?
I liked Resolution too, so I was kind of hoping.
But Resolution's the one where the guy's on crack and
his friend chains him.
That's a very good movie. Everybody should watch. Is
I really
Resolution.
liked
I knew a guy personally that hated it, so I couldn't talk to him about it. But this film feels like like it's taken a premise from you know who Larry Clark is, right? The guy who did Kids and who did all those weird young people having sex movies. Where it feels like they're not real actors, like they kind of just took kids off the block and had them act in the movie.
Right.
It's that kind of dirty, filthy kind of film, and it feels like that for the first 15 minutes. Well, it felt like 15 minutes. I don't know how long this shit is. Probably half an hour each film. Yeah.
The movie is only like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of bros that are skateboarders. These young kids, they probably look 17 or 18. They actually look fittingly like teenagers.
I have to say, the writing, the dialogue is terrible, but I like the concept.
I think the dialogue in this is actually more realistic than any of the other shorts at all, because it seems like this is what people talk. Yeah, because people talk like this and they're bullshitting around.
No, but just imagine the idea that
you
go to Mexico, there's these skeletons, actual skeletons attacking.
Oh yeah, no that I think you meant like.
Bro, come on.
Well, they were people first.
I thought you meant the casual conversation. I
meant the casual conversation as they're being attacked by zombies and skeletons.
Yeah, the fact that he decided to stay inside a pit full of monsters running after you, that's kind of...
Yeah.
And as they're in there, they're like, it's like, hey, toll booth guy just died. Like, it's like, you would care more than that. And he has a gun, which is like, why is this, stoner skater kid have a gun?
If you want to see this film,
because America.
Yes,
that's true.
And partially Mexico. This film, if you want to see this type of film actually done best, it was go watch Attack the Block, which is about like a bunch of,
That's a great movie, yeah.
which is a bunch of like young thugs fighting space aliens, and this
With
is
a lot less erratic camera movement.
Yeah, I think this, you can tell a lot went into this movie. Like there's a lot of fucking camera movements.
They have like 8 different cameras.
Yeah,
it feels like at the same time.
They
Yeah, you
have,
think
like,
it would- you would
two
think
on
it-
their heads and one on their skateboards. Each.
Yeah, there's a lot
And
of
then
shit
a
going on.
handheld,
In this.
and then I think the other kid had one too.
I think this film would have been a lot better if it was like a standard shot film and it wasn't POV. Like if it was kind of those, asshole kids fighting monsters kind of thing.
Because the concept wasn't bad. It's
Yeah.
just
There was some cool
it was
shots
so
though.
erratic
'Cause
and
it's like-
crazy. And
It's adventurous kids fighting monsters, and that works if if you're just seeing just sparks and little pieces of POV, then you can't really comprehend what the fuck you're looking at.
it was just too much.
Yeah, it's almost way
And,
too much.
and like the dialogue, I'm sorry, like it couldn't get past the dialogue. It was terrible.
Yeah, fair
I
enough
like
with
the
that.
Slow down long enough to like realize what they were saying.
I did like
Right.
that because I thought it was going to be a snuff thing, because I had totally forgot what the fucking, from the trailer, that they were going to fight skeletons. Also, I think Bone Storm is a Simpsons reference, by the way. I think it was like a fake Mortal Kombat in the Simpsons universe.
I think it was it was like the game that they weren't allowed to play or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Bart couldn't play
Oh,
it.
okay.
But yeah, I thought it was going to be like a guy leading them to snuff them or have them sacrifice, because he wanted them to get hurt with every
Oh, you know what's
shot.
so cool? Me and Alex played the Simpsons arcade game recently.
Oh, that was so fun. That was our big kiss-off
It's
in
like
New
the
York.
first time I played it in like 15 years. I was
If you
so happy.
if you want to go to check out a very cool bar in New York City, it's in Midtown Manhattan called Barcade, where you can get drunk and play arcade games from the 90s. It's pretty
X-Men
amazing.
and the Simpsons.
And even
I believe
Dragon's
Ninja
Lair.
Turtles.
Yes.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles too is there.
That's me geeking out. Anyway, back
Fantastic.
to Bone. Girls don't care about fucking arcade games. So Bone
I
Storm.
They do.
I do like arcade.
Oh, that's true.
Not good at them, but
Some girls do.
Thea's got geek cred.
The
so
cool
that's
girls
true.
do.
That's true. Yes.
I'm playing Fallout 3 right now.
There you go.
Again.
She's got money. So this Bone Storm, what'd you guys think about it fully, like completely? What did you think about it? Was
It
it
gave me a
work?
boner.
It didn't work? Yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
Would you guys go to
It
Mexico
was
to hang out?
okay. It was okay. The dialogue killed me, but like the
Yeah.
concept
Oh,
was
okay.
cool. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that it would have worked as a third-person film, like shot as a regular film, but that's what happens. I think the erratic camera work, even though it is POV, it kind of fucks it up for me. But it's not a horrible concept. It's just not right for this kind of setting of film. That's what I think. That
I
leads
think
to
they tried to shoehorn it into the viral POV thing too much.
yeah. I mean, there's
And it didn't necessarily fit.
if you
Right.
guys know, like I love cult films. Mostly cult films where they kill every cult member. I like that kind of film. I don't want to see like I'm not into like Rosemary's Babies kind of like just sitting around bullshitting. But when that happens, when cult people are kind of like disposable humans, I love that type of film. And this has that in droves, but just too crazy. You can't
hard to
sit
follow,
down and
you
right
know?
exactly.
You want to be able to actually understand what's going on, and half the time you can't.
Yeah. So this leads us to the final part of the wraparound film. What's going on with that, Thea?
The final part of the wraparound, the boyfriend, whatever his name is, finally discovers his girlfriend. Well, kind of, whatever her name is. He discovers the ice cream truck in the middle of nowhere, basically.
What was that song playing? That very famous, was it Ave Maria or something like that? It was like one of those.
Oh,
It's one of the songs you always see in
I think it was
trailers.
Beethoven or something.
Yeah, it's one of those songs you always see in trailers for like really epic films, and I actually like that in this. It made it feel way more classier than it was. We did skip the.
Why didn't the cops
Oh, I
have
forgot to
the
talk about the cab thing.
We did skip the cab sequence where a girl is doing like porn, or she's getting filmed to make porn with a very.
Right.
Danny, I would like to say that was a very racist, nebbishy voice. But then I saw the
Yeah,
actor,
right?
and it was
The guy was like a cartoon Jew.
it was very super.
You know what? And I felt so bad for him because I supported what he did so much.
And it wasn't
no.
just because he was Jewish; it was just because you're a pervert, right? Is that what it is? Listen, me too.
Because, I think that you should be allowed to do all those things and not have to pay any price.
Can you do an impersonation of the guy, Danny?
What?
Can you just do an impersonation of the guy's voice and how it's super like stereotypical it
I'm
was?
sorry, I learned my lesson, I'm sorry.
That's literally what it was. I was waiting
That's
for him
pretty
to.
accurate.
I was waiting for him to cook potato pancakes in front of him in the fucking scene. Jesus Christ. So anyway, it's basically this guy. If you saw...
Don't knock latkes.
No, they're
good.
fabulous. And knishes. Oh. But anyway, this is basically, if you saw ABCs of Death 2, this is what T is for torture porn should have been. Because this is this is basically what it is. It's like, it wasn't torture.
And they did it in less time and less ridiculous.
Yeah, so this guy's basically...
I kind of didn't mind that one. Whatever.
That's because she had nice tatties in that one. But this guy is... Oh, yeah, that girl did get naked in that one. So anyway, this guy
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Yeah, no, that was the one with, like, the demon thing.
Fabulous, Danny. So this guy is filming this girl, and I guess she's getting revenge on him because he uploaded her revenge porn video. Although
her
she should have
put a porn of her, and he just put it
Sold
on his
site.
Whether she beat the shit out of her ex-boyfriend, who knows? But she's going for this guy, and God knows there's probably millions of other sites. Not saying that's the right thing to do, but he decides to start choking the shit out of her, and they get into a car accident. But I thought this was another vignette that was pretty good. This felt like what's that movie Babel? You ever heard of that movie Babel with it was like Brad Pitt and it was basically three stories.
Heard of but not seen.
It's basically or Crash. You know those type of films that have multiple stories going on in one universe or something.
Stories that connect to each other and all happen in the same sort of space.
And I actually think if this guy were to make this an actual film that had all these vignettes in it that weren't maybe I wasn't so bored because it would pop back to the story and I'm interested in what's going to happen next. But I think it was pretty much a successful and probably the most successful wraparound they've had for any VHS so far. And I think we've said that before, but the
lack of bros alone was great.
Finale, yes. Finale.
I fucking hate bros.
What was the wraparound for the sequel? I don't remember.
I can't even remember.
It was like this guy and girl who went into a...
It was the same house.
They went into a house and there was stuff in the house, like the collection. I'm glad they got rid of that aspect of it. It's stupid.
I thought the finale was kind of lukewarm and kind of boring. Like when he goes into that van and he's got to upload this video. Why another person didn't have to upload the video? Who knows? And his girlfriend's taunting him and smashing.
Yeah, but where was she? Like, what is she? Like,
she was dead. The program.
It was a ghost.
Like it was just using her. Or something.
Yeah, it was a ghost because she was dead outside the car with his cell phone in her mouth. And
but why didn't he see her when she was already there?
I don't know.
Because it was parked, honey.
Because it's dumb, yeah. I kept laughing that because you know the part where she's smashing her head into the wall. I couldn't tell that's what she was doing. It's just like she was getting yanked off screen. I'm like, why is he getting afraid of her getting yanked off screen? You know what I mean? Then we see her face is just like progressively getting more smashed up and disgusting. And I think it was kind of a weak ending where he has to upload something and then he feels terrible about himself and then we lead into a wide of the car and then he gets
his wish. He made a viral video.
Then he gets a nosebleed. I guess that's the whole ironic thing about it. But
it just goes to show you, don't use YouTube anymore, guys, or you could be causing your girlfriend's death.
Yeah,
don't be internet dicks.
Just film her tiny butt in those shorts, and that's it.
I like the little tiny butt. It's cute.
What's it attached to?
I like big butts, but
But I cannot lie. I also enjoy small ones.
Very good.
Exactly.
Even white boys got to shout. All right, so let's rate the whole thing. 1 out of 10. What is for the wraparound? What did you guys think of Vicious Circles?
Thea?
I'm gonna give it 18 out of 25 bouts of ice cream truck madness.
I'm confused by that.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'll give that a 6 out of 10 because there were so many really good vignettes within the short itself that kind of kept it at a good pace. 6 out of 10 huge old floppy grandma titties.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 12 out of 20.
Why are you guys doing this to me?
You stole mine. I love floppy grandma titties. 12 out of 20. Angry Spanish guy who's on probation, killing everyone.
Has to pick on the Spanish
but probably
guy.
getting away with it because of the chaos.
No, he is Hispanic. He'll get caught. So the next one is
Or
Don.
they might just not care because he only killed other Hispanic
That's
people.
true. He might have just been he might have been like Clorox.
He was helping the cops. Now they don't have to kill them.
They call those guys Clorox because they get rid of the color.
Oh no!
All right, Dante the Great. What do you guys think about that one?
Thea.
4 bunny ribs out of 6.
I'll give it a.
So that's 2/3.
I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Really obvious After Effects arms jumping out of a cape to attack a woman at the end.
Alright, I'm gonna gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Really hot girl that just missed the opportunity to have a cloak make her clothes vanish.
Next up is Parallel Monsters. I won't even fake that I was listening. But go ahead, Parallel Monsters, Thea.
Thea.
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 missed opportunities for a blood orgy.
What's up with Thea's ratings?
What?
It's 1 out of 10, and you're like 4 out of 5. I was like, what are you listening to?
What? You guys usually do out of 100 or
Yeah,
I know, but
6
it's
million.
almost like you're.
Good. I'm just doing math in my head, so that's an 8 out of 10.
She's reducing
it.
out of the
Yeah.
10. There you go. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I don't know. Attacking
your fractions out,
attacking
it's
a
fine.
woman. I was horrible at math. I had to beg my math teacher in college to pass me with a D. So yes, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Surprising your alternate universe wife with your monstrous penis.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 17 out of 20, which equals 8.5.
What did you think he did with his penis on the wife? Because the wife survived.
She knifed it, I guess.
She
Oh,
survived,
okay,
but
fair
it
enough.
traumatized her.
Yes,
It was
very
like that scene in The Stand where Flag fucks Nadine.
Oh no! Don't remind me.
Okay,
Who
I'm
was
gonna give
Nadine?
this a 17 out of 20.
Oh boy, here we go. Here comes the great gag.
Bad Alfonso deciding to, take advantage of this nice sleeping Marta with his wolf demon penis.
So basically, my rating. All right, so
Exactly.
let's get into. Now we'll do.
What about upside down crosses?
Now we'll
Okay,
do.
okay, you know what? I'll do a new one. Okay, 17 out of 20.
Or sex sounds set to ritual burnings.
Yeah.
I'd watch that movie.
17 out of 20. Two guys that were just in your house to maybe have some kind of satanic orgy or something, getting mad at you because you're filming them.
With the same name, what are the odds?
Yeah, and they must be related because they have the same first name.
That was like a never-ending rating. Okay, so let's get into Bone Storm. Bone Storm's ready. Okay,
It
Thea,
sounds
which
like
one-
a wrestler name.
Yeah, you never saw Amazing Spider-Man, the first one? Oh, I mean regular Spider-Man with who the hell was that guy? Macho Man?
Oh, is that his wrestler name?
No, his name was
that's
Bonesaw.
the guy that does the
Macho Man, yes,
yeah,
Slim
yeah,
Jim.
Macho Man.
He
Yeah,
played
he does jerky,
Bonesaw.
beef jerky.
See, I
What?
did that as a throwaway joke,
Bonesaw,
but
Bone
Danny
what?
had to keep
Alex,
it
I
calm.
appreciated it.
Okay,
it was
Thea,
nostalgic.
let's get into Boner Storm, Thea. Which one is that? I mean, what do you think about that?
Boner
rating?
Storm. I'm gonna do it out of 10, so you don't get mad at me again.
Oh, shit.
Nah, you can do whatever you want.
Put
I
her
don't
in her
care.
place, Alex. That's right.
I'm gonna give
She's
it
gonna kick you in
5
the
out
balls.
of 10 raging cases of syphil herp.
Wow. I also will give it a 5 out of 10. It looked like those kids had lazy eyes when they had those close-up cameras. So
They were just
that's
too
my rating.
stoned.
Okay, you, Danny.
Okay, I'm gonna give it like a 4.5. No, I don't want to go confined to your 10s.
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna give
ahead.
it a 5 out of 11.
Nice.
You should have
Giving
said.
it a 5 out of 11. Jesus Christ.
You're acting like a real honk maffa, Danny. But go
5
ahead.
out of 11. Really sexy woman ripping someone's arm off.
Was there a sexy woman in that? Oh
No,
yeah,
not
yeah,
at
yeah.
all,
The
really, but-
the fake Frida Kahlo. Okay, so as a totality of this film, VHS3, what did you guys think, Thea?
I would say definitely give it a watch. I would give it a
Is that
a
an-
7. No, let's give it an an 8 out of 12.
Oh.
Yowza.
Monster vaginas eating someone's head.
So you got a
Very good.
6.66.
There you go.
I'll give it I was gonna give it a 6. I guess 7 is right, just because Nacho's short is very
Worth it.
It's worth watching it.
I think it's all worth a watch. It was fun
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
to
it was
definitely
pretty good.
watch.
It was better. It was better
I'm
than
gonna
I
give it
expected
a
it.
6.5.
Thanks for letting me do the rating, but go ahead, Danny.
I would do. Oh, sorry.
What
go.
was- what
No,
thing did you choose?
It was nothing
Alex
important.
needs to finish his rating, guys. Come on.
Guys, it's 7 out of 10 Nebushi porn makers. Go ahead.
Alright. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It went down dramatically because of the dialogue and that fucking phone
Wow.
thing.
How many
You
times
would-
did you say the word dialogue?
You would
It
think
just was terrible.
you would think there
It
was like some sort of
terrible.
hidden anti-Semitism in what they were saying or something. Jesus Christ.
No, it's just like it was like the most like fake dialogue I've ever seen in a movie.
Okay.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
But there was some good stuff in here, and that middle movie, the Dimension one, was really good.
What was your rating though?
I said 6.5 out of 10
Of what?
But what?
for the whole.
Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Doing this for like 3 years, you
10,
fuck. 2 years. Yeah. Yes.
Girlfriend moving off camera, and it scares you, and then you find her with a cell phone in her mouth.
I found that pretty funny what you just said. But yeah, ironically, the guy, I thought like the dialogue and resolution was really fucking good. So something must have happened when he did this
was
Bone
great.
Storm. All right, so with
Yeah.
that, Danny, what's the final word? I mean, Thea, what's the final word?
Vodka.
Danny, what's the final word?
Noppin'.
The horror deconstruction.